JP. Whoa. Whee! Better wake up. Whoa. Better shake up, shake up.
I wanna wake up. I wanna shake up.
Hi everyone, I am Olivia Shaw Lavelle, and this is our YouTube channel. Anyways, the point of me being here today is that I really want you guys to understand a little bit about who I am and how I got on this journey and how I became a part of the Lavelles, right? So let me just get to the meat of the matter. So my journey with God began early. So as a young girl, I really loved Jesus, because that's all I knew, honestly. And I got baptized in high school, and I remember the reason why I wanted to get baptized was because I remember every time I was going to do an exam or a test and I prayed, I always get an A, and whenever I did not pray I didn't get the A's. And so I had a best friend at the time, Natalie, big up Natalie, that we really were just seeking after God, trying to encounter God, trying to really see, the move of God in our life. We never used to call it that way, but we're very, very active in ISCF, inter school Christian fellowship, and that really drew me to a bit of understanding. And I participated in Bible quiz and exams through the Jamaica Baptist Union. One time I actually came second in the island of Jamaica. So I really wanted to know God, but I don't feel like I was really a hot Christian. And not hot in the sense of how I dress, but hot in the sense where I was more lukewarm and probably more cold than hot. Anyways, my life went on its own path in grade 10, something drastic, and I will share a bit more about that particular journey that I endured in grade 10, where I attempted suicide. And I really wanted to die. I had no reason for living during that time, but that's a story for itself. Long story short, I'm giving you bits and pieces just to get an understanding as to who I am. I went on to university and girl went out to the streets. Listen, party, hot girl a road, the road, drink, smoke, everything possible you can think about, your girl was on it. I never did cocaine and those extreme hard drugs, but your girl was in these streets. Yeah. Anyways, I knew that God was calling me for something greater than all of that, because despite being out there, your girl never ever says she's not a Christian. And I'm sure a lot of us can testify to that. We're always Christians. And so I recall even being a part of Christian fellowship groups at university, but Sunday night I gone to strip club. Monday I think I used to take a break, or if there was a Monday party, but Thursday to Sunday your girl was partying, and then I gone to church on Sunday. Yeah, so I wasn't where I was supposed to be, but I knew that I love Jesus. I just never know how to love him or to obey him. Long story short, there came a point in my life that God was speaking to me louder. I was hearing the voice of God clearer, and this really came about after I surrendered in 2015. August 2015 was a transformative time of my life. I had the year prior to 2015, which was 2014, I came out of a 6-year relationship, and I would have known myself and wanted a future with this person. So when that ended and it looked like it wasn't going to get back ever, I was very hurt, very broken. And broken Olivia was open to anyone and anything that really kind of gave her some solace or peace of wanting to be with me or loving me. Um, because of that, I went into another relationship, and knowing me, like once we do that thing, you're my boyfriend, okay, until you're gonna be my boyfriend. There's no way you're not my boyfriend, okay? So it so came about that I did that thing with someone. He was a doctor, and I fell madly in love with this person because I'm coming from a broken place from that relationship, and this was like the first guy who really kind of wanted to, I wouldn't say pursue me, but in a Jamaican term, him look me. And I was in it for the long haul. I was seeing future with this person. By the way, I'm not married to this person anyways. But it so happened that we had a conversation, and he said we're just not on the same wavelength. What do you mean by that? I was like, what do you mean by that? Is it because I'm from a poor community and you're from the upper class? And he was like, you're missing it. That's not what I mean. But I couldn't understand. And your girl ball. I'm like, God, you don't love me. Nobody don't love me. This man don't love me. I want this man. I laugh no, but then ask my sister. She can tell you. Ball. So till it was very, very hard. And I was staying in his room at the time, and so of course I'm not on his wavelength anymore, so obviously you gotta go. But girl make up in her mind that she don't want to return home, and home is where I'm at now. But I really did not want to come back here. I just like, God, I needed something else. But during this time of knowing that I was finishing my internship, and so I had to make a decision if this is the career path I wanted. I never really wanted it. And knowing that I had certain obligations and responsibilities, and no, me not a man to help me. Yeah, it was a very sad time of my life. But my little sister, I love her dearly. Lovina, big up yourself. She really stood in the gap for me, and she prayed. She alongside with my aunt. And they prayed for me. And I remember the nights I had to leave, and so I called my dad to help me to take the stuff from his place, and okay, I'm going back home. And I came back home, and I came to my sister. I went to my aunt's home, and they started praying for me. And I remember quite a lot of the stuff that they prayed. And I remember my sister saying to me, just lift your hands and just surrender to God, and just let it be. Just give everything to God. And that's what I did. And I remember just tears. I just sobbing. I just bawling. And I just bawling like, God. I bawl. And I remember I just felt like a weight came off my shoulder. Honestly, I felt like that. And I left my aunt's home and I came to my home. And I slept. I said yes. I said, God, whatever you want, I give it to you. I will do it. Like, because I'm choosing wrong. My career not making sense. Me not a man, and a lot of women, we can testify that we find our identity in our partners. And so I said, God, I need to find Olivia, and I don't want to die. I've gone through that process of where I wanted to die. So there must be something here for me to do. And I went to bed with a very peaceful heart, knowing that I just kind of felt okay. I honestly felt okay. I tell people about this experience like it was just looking like this and then it switched. It was just that in that moment for me. Some persons it's a gradual turn, but it was like this for me. And I woke up the next day and I saw my cousins, and the Lord was just saying, you're gonna lead women, you're gonna serve women, because I understand leadership is service. And he said to me that I should start a women's group, and the objective of this group is to have women, tell their life story, just an experience of talking about the challenges that we face, to create a safe space where we can all be vulnerable and open. Honestly, the words that I'm using now is 8 years of experience. It never come to me like that. And if I'm being honest, it was just that I wanted to get women together so that we no longer fought against each other. And because I recognize what my sister did for me in a broken time, a time when I needed someone. I wanted other women to get that kind of sisterly love, and I wanted to be that safe space for them. I wanted to curate that safe space for them, because it wouldn't be me, but it would really be that environment that God was going to be in the midst of. So honestly, that was it. The word about vulnerability and all of that, I never know them stuff there. I honestly just knew that I saw my cousins and I saw a piece of me in them, and I wanted us to support each other while we put ourselves back together. And I started this on my unfinished veranda, and my father really supported us. My heavenly father, my earthly father. I remember, I have this mentality. Well, I know that when my belly full, I'm good. You can't ask me to do anything and I'll do it. So I told my cousins, right, that day I went out and I really got everybody together, explain, like I started this women empowerment group, and we're going to just talk, and we're going, I don't know. It was kind of a vibe. I was on a high. Yeah, the next morning I woke up, I was on a high, like, God, I must do this, and I'm doing it. And I told my sister, and she was like, yes, we're doing this, and we got things together. But I brought up the fact that my father supported us, because at this time I was no longer working. My internship would have finished. I may never get paid for that, so I never had no money. Broke, right? And I my father gave us some money to buy stuff like bread and stuff, and we made sandwiches and juice and all of that. I was so excited, and I invited them, and we had 10 of us, and I don't know how we had so much chairs, but I got chairs and everything, and we sat on the veranda. We met. Oh my gosh. And we watched motivational video, talked about it, and we started meeting 2 times a week. Sundays was an intimate meeting, and then on Thursdays it was more like practical stuff. And while going through this process, we were meeting every week. I was just learning from God. Like, anything Him said I must talk about, that's what I'm talking about. And different ways. I don't know how I got all of these things, and I think about it just now, sharing this story and looking back, I'm like, how? But I did it. I did it with the help of God, with the help of my sister, with the support of my father. I did it. And Women of Destiny, at that time it was called Women Empowerment Group. It grew, but this is more on my journey and not Women of Destiny's journey, because that's a whole thing on its own. I keep saying long story short, this is a long story, and I have all the time in the world to tell it this Sunday evening, right? Anyways, no, I don't. I'm going to the beach, so I have to hurry up. But anyways, guys, when we started meeting, I recognized that I was not equipped for this. I was not equipped to hear the stories. I was not equipped to support them. We never have no money, and them trauma, yeah, we can't handle it. It was too much. It was too much for me to handle, and so I really just decided that I'm done ish. I told my dad that I wanted to come to the States. No, I never, not my dad. I told my aunt that I wanted to visit the States. And I told her that my intention was to get a job there, and as a medical technologist, which is what I have my bachelor's in. And I started studying for the American medical technologist licensing exam. And oh, by the way, guys, I was still very lukewarm. I felt like I was on fire, but in retrospect, your girl was not on fire. She was very lukewarm. I was still doing a lot of things that I knew I should not be doing. Um, so and I remember even like soon going back to my aunt, but I remember like I would go to parties still, and people would be like, what are you doing here? I remember one night I went to some face beach party. The beach party though. This is like a party and I saw someone and they were like, what are you doing here? Aren't you a Christian? Oh, by the way, after that prayer that night, your girl just change up her Facebook, Instagram, everything. Everything is about God now. Like everybody may tell say you need to find Jesus. I found him. I love him. So I was just so hot and ready for God, but I was still struggling with letting go apart different parts of me. And one thing about me, I'm very open on my journey and I'm very okay with going through the journey. So I'm like, yeah man, me a Christian but me still there party. Because God love me and He's not gonna dash me away. He will always pursue me. So me didn't give myself time, no worries. So anyways, back to my aunt. I was now telling her that, I wanted to do this exam and so I'm coming to stay with her for a month or two. Mind you, God had given me something to do, just never pay me, and me just couldn't be bothered because I could not find ways to help these women. Me never know how to help them because me myself need help. Right? I helped them the way I could, and that's one of the services we decided that we'll offer is to mobilize resources, to gather resources that to alleviate any challenges that we discuss in our safe space. But I never have those connections. I never know what to do. Honestly, I was lost for words or for help. I don't know. Long story short, me take a plane, go to Florida, and decide, say, this is where I'm gonna be. Um, and I did my exam, and your girl is very smart. She don't fail, but she failed. I failed that exam by 3 points. 3 points, like 3 points? Are you serious? And I just didn't feel like I should do it over. And so, without that license, I couldn't get any kind of proper job. And so, I had to come back home. And I came back home excited ish. I came back home because now me gonna look at job in a Jamaica because me not get no job at foreign. Me gonna look at job at Jamaica. And so every day, big up my friend Sidane. Every time I was staying with Sidane from Monday to Friday and I came back to Montego Bay. She lived in Kingston and I would spend a week with her and come back to Montego Bay on the weekends and go back to Kingston. And I did this. I did this because I could not manage what I was being called to. And honestly, then I just never felt like I was being called to this. I just felt like this just seemed bigger than me and me can't help. So me gonna go help myself. And I remember one day when I was leaving my home, walking through the yard, it's like I heard this thought came to my mind that you can't help those who don't want to help themselves. Olivia wanted to help herself, so she gone. Me gonna go look at Jabaton. Hear the funny story though. My friend Sidane set me up on an interview. Yes, she help her friend. We can't be catching in her house all the time. I got an interview and I did the interview at Crew Bar. I love Crew Bar. And I sat before the managing director of the space. This was a medical and dental representative job. And I was like, yeah, I felt more like this was more me, more than the medical technologist, because I get to still learn about science and share about science, but I would be interacting with persons face to face on a daily basis, and that is in contrast to what I would do in the lab, where I would just be behind a microscope and dealing with bodily fluids. So I was excited. I sat there, well excited, dressed for this with my resume well detailed of my, my competencies. And, I got the job. I got the job right there. I got the job. Yeah! I got the job. But he said, I'm so glad that you are from the Western region. You're from Montego Bay because, I've been working as a sales rep down that side and I want to focus on my role as managing director. So you're going to be hired for the sales representative for the Western region. No, I don't want this job again. Sir, no. I don't want this job again. Why? Right? The Western region is where I'm from. I was going to the east in Kingston for the week. Every week. Because I wanted a job in Kingston. I wanted to be a corporate Jamaica girl. My life to dress nice. My life to look good. That's the life I wanted to live. I didn't want to live in Salem anymore. No, God. Take me away. And so these are the thoughts going in my mind. And I said to the director, I said, why would you want me to work there when I'm applying for the job in Kingston? Don't you see that we're doing this interview in Kingston? What is wrong with you? What is wrong? I didn't say what is wrong with you, but I literally told him to look. Wait, this interaction is happening in Kingston, Jamaica for a reason. And he said, we have reps on this side already. We want somebody from that side and you're from that side. And I believe in you. Okay. To make it even better, you come to Kingston every Monday. Alright, for meetings. You can come in for meetings. Okay, thank you. So, like Jonah, running away from God. So I tried. And I was sent right back. Okay? So I was sent right back to Montego Bay, right back to my childhood home, right back to my yard, to do what God had started. And so I could not run away from this. I could not run away from this calling to serve these women. Until next time, guys, remember to subscribe right here, share, and like this video down below.
So until then,
bye.
Wake up.